Right, we are here with Jonathan Worley, who's looking to replace his wheel, his Msuper 820 that he's had for a couple of years, and has done 1,300 miles on it approximately.
1,500 miles, get it right.
1,500 miles on it. So he's looking to upgrade, cross-grade, whatever you want to call it. He is going to test out some wheels today, aren't you, Jonathan? What wheels are you going to be testing?
Well, I've got my feet sat on the InMotion V10, is it called?
That is the InMotion V10, quite correct.
Which I've ridden for about the last half a mile or so, and it feels already really good. So an exciting day. I've got this, we're going to try the KS18.
L?
There's only that language. The KS18L.
And
the Msuper X.
Hey.
So these are all wheels that are in a similar kind of price bracket, are they?
Not really, no.
So what do they range from?
So this, at the time of video in this is 1,350. It's a V10.
So what's the most expensive one I'll be riding?
The Msuper X is 2K basically at the time of filming, so about 1,995.
And will they all do a similar kind of range and some kind of power?
No, you're going to get more range. No, so at Msuper X you get much more speed out of it and power.
All right. So I guess.
But more than you could ever want. That's the only other point to make.
So things to consider then is going to be the performance of them, but also the price range of them. And I'm going to take into account the style and look and the feel of them as well. That's all important stuff. And for me, it's about using them to commute with. So it's how do they function in real world settings rather than just jumping over logs and that kind of stuff. So how good are they for me? Because I think I represent 95.5% of the people out there. And that is a statistic I just made up this morning.
I think it's a good job that you don't represent 95%. John's also going to be trying out the KS16S, which is what I'm currently riding, whilst he rides the V10. So he's going to give this a go as well. Okay, well we have come off-road because you've been trying it on tarmac, haven't you?
Yep.
How have you found it so far?
So far, so good. Really firm. I really like the way it handles. It's very responsive. It's nice and tall as well, so it's quite high up. So you compare that to the ACMs or the 9.1, which is kind of low down. Being used to riding the Msuper, this is quite high, so I do like this style of this kind of positioning as well. Really good.
Okay, well you've been riding off-road for a bit now.
Yep.
How's that worked out for you?
It's really good. It's only a 16-inch wheel, but it handles really well, and it's not missed a footing at all. The foot plates are really nice and high as well, so you just come through some puddles and just don't get wet. It's brilliant. So I think everything about this one is a winner so far. I can look at its faults a bit later, some of the issues I've got with it, but...
You've got issues with it?
Well, I've not found many. And I've been told the issues I've found are...
Irrelevant.
Well, irrelevant, but also a design feature rather than a flaw. So if I just talk about the handle on it, but let's talk about the looks, one thing. I don't like the look of this handle on it. That puts me off straight away. I'm not a big fan of flashy lights, but I don't mind that so much. It's the handle, if anything, that puts me off. When I lift the handle up in place, it feels like it clicks in place, but then there's a bit of wobble there. But I understand that you need that kind of freedom there to allow for it to work effectively. If it was too tight and too stiff, it would then over time not work. So it's there, that's built in a feature. and it does handle well. It's locked in place, the handle, so it does handle well. It's just a bit of an ugly design for me, for my personal taste. However, I'm willing to look beyond that, because when I first saw the Msuper, I hated it. I thought it was a suitcase. I thought it was a brick on a wheel, and I didn't like it. But over time, I really fell in love with that. So I'm not going to be too put off by the looks of this, because it actually rides like one of the best wheels I've ever ridden. And on a 16, I can't believe it's only a 16-inch wheel, because it feels so solid and so sure-footed, and everything's done. Really good, really good.
So the design, see, I think that's a beautiful wheel.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a beautiful wheel ruined by the trolley handle, do you?
That, I know, yeah, I think I probably do. I know you can take the trolley handle off it, so you don't have to have this fitted. But for me, the way I use it on and off trains and pushing it along busy platforms. So for me, I'd want a handle. But I think I'm willing to look beyond that because it rides so well. It's also got a button under the handle, so when you do pick it up, it turns it off. That was the wheel, not me. And then you can carry it, not for long, because it's not the lightest of things.
Well, it depends how strong you are.
That is true, I am a weakling, but when I put it back down, it's good to go. The Msuper doesn't have that. I do, this is the first one today, and so far it's my favourite.
So what are we doing now then?
Having ridden this one, I'm now going to swap over and ride the Kingsong Sport. So this is the KS16S, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so let me get on board this one. Let's see how
We're
this
swapping
compares.
over, aren't we?
Yeah.
I can't wait to get back on that, I love it. But this one, 1200 watt motor.
I'm just going to do a weight comparison, because I can do that. All I'm actually proving now is how strong I am. Very similar, not much in it.
Right, let's get you on that and then give you all what you think your little taster session on the KS16S is going to be like, and how you find that off-road. And then we're hitting some road again. And then we're going to swap over and go on to the other two wheels, KS18L and the Msuper X.
The size difference, look at the... It's quite a sizable difference, isn't it?
It is. But you think that one's got, that's wider, isn't it, that one? KS16S is wider.
Yeah.
So that's pretty thin. And that is a lot wider. Lower down as well.
Yep.
So if you look at the footplate heights, this is another consideration if you're riding off-road. Look how high, much higher those footplates are than the KS16S. Obviously they're slightly lower because they're folded up on the KS16S. Those flaps actually fold horizontal. But quite a bit of difference there. You can see the mounting points on the KS16S, that little hole there in the middle. Yeah, massive difference. Also the tyre on this, the sidewall on the V10, is why it gives us such a nice ride. It's because it's such a fat tyre. Really, really nice tyre. That's where you get the padding off-road. Right, let's get you on it. As you just saw, John's gone over the cattle grid, and what he's going to do now is he's going to try it on the old V10 to see if he finds any difference.
Compare the two. I've not yet ridden this on tarmac or in a town yet, so it's difficult to compare. Only ridden it off-road. Off-road, I prefer the InMotion V10. It's a smoother ride coming over that cattle grid. A noticeable difference. So
Smoother ride or something, isn't it?
there's no suspension in these things. It can only come down to the tyres. That's just the way it controls. I don't know how these things they work by magic anyway. So I don't know how it's put together. But that is definitely a smoother ride off-road than this one. I compare these two in a town setting, but that's my own personal view of it. Anyway, people might say, "Oh, you're wrong." But that's my view. And riding for the last 10 minutes and getting straight off one and straight onto the next.
And across the cattle grid.
Yeah.
Cattle grid test. Well, you don't have many cattle grids in central London, do they? to be fair?
Around Epping Forest that way, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Not central London, no, but yeah.
Okay. So what you're saying is in other areas of the country there are cattle grids,
Possibly.
but central London,
Not so many.
not so many in central London. So, well, I'll tell you what you have to do as well. Is off some curbs and up some curbs maybe. Could you get curbs in central London?
Yeah, but I wouldn't advise people jumping up curbs in central London.
Jump off curbs?
Yeah, I'd always ride safely and be aware of your surroundings. I won't be jumping off curbs and traffic and things. And the pavements are a lot busier, more congested than you've got in this busy thoroughfare.
This is rush
the
hour.
main street, isn't it?
We were going to camp out and film these wheels, but we didn't want to rough it. Right, John's just going to try now, off a curb. He's off. Right, take the V10 straight away. So you're fresh in your mind, what it feels like. Go! Okay, V10. Any difference? No difference? Some difference?
Very similar. Oh, smooth finish there. Very similar. This feels like you got more control of it. I prefer the riding style of it. This up
That
higher.
then might be because of the higher side pads then,
It's
you
higher up
reckon?
between your knees, so when you land, you got more control of it. So I felt.
So rough stuff then.
But that could be
More
because
like-
I ride the Msuper, so I'm so used to this riding position. People might
Right,
not
okay.
like that. People might like that between the, shins rather than between the knees.
Yeah,
For me, I'm siding this one, but
so far. We got 2 more to test as well.
I need to ride that on the pavement, on the road properly, because
A bit more.
already that's a very responsive wheel. Do you want to say about the different plate position?
That's asked the viewers. Would you like to hear any more from him, or should we just?
Fade to black. So one thing I would say about this, the Kingston 16S, is that it is a fast wheel to ride. So when my feet are on it, it feels like your toes are elevated, the heels are down, which means that you've only put the slightest bit of pressure forward, just your weight, and it goes like a rocket. This really does fly.
It's what you might call a pocket rocket.
Yeah, this, for the size of it, the speed it goes, and it does it at very controlled speed as well. This is a fast machine.
You see some things on these rides. You don't usually see that though. Look at that.
I never do a drink a cup of tea and go, ah. So, having ridden the InMotion V10 and the KS16S, now I'm going to try 2 more wheels. We're going to try the Msuper X, is that right?
Yeah.
And the KS18.
KS18. Let's go and pick them up.
Okay.
On to your next potential purchases.
Woohoo!
See which one it's going to whittle down to. Okay. KS18L. Are you ready to go out on it?
Yep.
Bit of road riding.
Yep.
You can decide whether you like it or not then.
Okay, first impressions. I do like the look of it. I like the matte finish to it. So it looks like it's a good quality build. I like the handle, nice and high. Makes sense. I'm loving the love guard, the mud guard. What a sensible, clever idea that is. Just a rubber flap that does the job. Better than a hard plastic thing that would crack and break off. So I like the height of it as well. It's nice and tall again, which is my preferred kind of wheel position. So you can see how it works now, how it handles.
Right, on the road.
Let's go then.
Next level. Next level.
So have you found it in the city then, John?
Really good. Easy to handle. Busy areas, pavements, around pedestrian areas. No problem at all. Really nice to ride. It's an 18-inch wheel, so naturally it's going to be a bit more comfortable than the 16. Having said that, the emotion felt great. But no complaints. Nice wheel.
Handles well then?
Yeah, very well. Like I said before, I quite like the higher position. I personally enjoy that as a better riding position.
Should we try some off-roading then?
Let's do it.
See how she handles?
This way?
Yes.
Next level. Next level. Next level.
So we're now on the Msuper X, done a bit of road riding, and we're now going to take it off-road.
Next level.
Problem. So one of the differences with these two wheels is that this has no cut-off button. So if you pick it up now, it will still be on, and the wheel will spin. So to get over an obstacle, pick it up on something. If you pick it up, you've got to turn it off first. Pick it off, drag it across, turn it back on again. Might seem like a little thing, but when you're doing that again and again, that can be really annoying.
What's the alternative though?
The alternative is you have something like this Kingston, where underneath the handle Oh no, there's no. It's not this one, is it? It just picks up automatically.
Picks up, yeah, sensor. The V10's got a button.
On the V10 there's a button underneath it. This one, you pick it up. It should beep as you pick it up. It's turned off. It's heavy. Put it down the other side. And it's back on. Ah,
Might have to push the handle down.
push the handle down.
There you are.
Works. No problem at all. So, just to remind you, I've been out testing these 4 wheels all day, had a great time. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm looking to upgrade and buy myself a new wheel. We've tried all these in different situations, the kind of situations I'd use them in. Most I use mine for riding to work, on and off trains, public transport, in and around crowded places, pedestrianised areas. So I'm looking for a wheel that can cope really well in that kind of setting. Something that's got about a 25-mile range. Ideally something with a handle to it, so I can use it in those public places easily. And all of these wheels fit perfectly into that kind of category. So we've been using the InMotion V10, the KS16, the Msuper X and the KS18L. All of them, as I say, really good wheels, enjoyed riding all of them. I'm just going to work through some of the peculiarities or the unique features of each one and why I like or dislike them. The InMotion to start with, both these two wheels, the InMotion and the KS16, both got a 16-inch wheel and they're both the same price, $1,350 or thereabouts. So these are really kind of like for like wheels. Slightly bigger battery capacity, an 840 watt hour battery on this one, slightly smaller on the InMotion. However, the range testing of them, the distance they'll go, probably about the same. Check out the full product reviews on Speedy Feet's YouTube channel for the full distance and all those kind of proper testing. The features, this one, I do like this one. It's a bit of a higher riding position, so it sits higher between your knees. Because I've ridden an Msuper for so long, I'm used to that and like it. This one's a bit lower down. So if you've ridden the 9.1, for example, this is a perfect kind of upgrade for something that'll go faster and further. Similar kind of a ride and feel, but this one is a bit higher and I like it. The handle on this one, if I can reach that. At first I thought that spoiled the look of it, but it's one of those things actually that I've grown to like. So it's not, it stands apart, it's different from the rest. And it actually works really well. And has been pointed out to me, if you lean this up against a wall, as you sometimes do, the handle actually then protects the side of the wheel from hitting against the wall. I don't know if that's a design feature or by chance, but it works really well. And this has got a higher footplate position and bigger footplates. So when you're on there, you feel really properly like you're standing on a platform. Nice and solid. And this is as smooth as anything I've ever ridden. This one, again, like I said, it's got a nice handle position, it's lower down. This handle works really well, it tucks away, sensible position, smaller footplates, a bit lower down, easy to ride, no problem at all. It doesn't have that battery cut-off facility, so when you pick it up, you need to switch it off first of all. So if you're in a place where you need to pick it up, take it on and off trains, for example, it doesn't have this feature, but the InMotion does. A little button there that works every time without a fault. So these two wheels, very similar in price and range and power, really good. I know where my preference lies. Then go up to the 18-inch wheels, rode the King Song, and I have to say, nothing wrong with that, lovely. There might have been a bit of a glitch, we've updated the firmware on that today, which might have solved it. But again, a lovely wheel to ride. I like the matte black finish on it. It does have a feature where the handle pulls up nice and easily, and when you pick it up, it automatically senses that you're picking it up and therefore it stops the wheel spinning. When we've tested it today, that was a little bit hit and miss. So sometimes you pick it up and it doesn't turn it off, the wheel spins, not so confident that would work. And if I was in a public place, for example, getting on some escalators on a tube station and picked it up, and that started to spin round and not turn itself off, that would not give me confidence. The Msuper X, what a fantastic bit of kit. This is really well put together. This feels solid. When you ride it, it feels like it is absolutely sure-footed and has not put a foot wrong for us today. The foot plates, for me, are slightly inverted like that, so your feet are coming at an angle. And having ridden it for about 40 minutes or so today, it was just a bit starting to hurt my ankles, my feet a little bit, but I think you'd get used to that. Again, exactly the same design in terms of the trolley handle as the one I've used to, and because the Msuper I've ridden has been flawless for two years and 1,500 miles, of course I'm going to have this as my go-to wheel as a starting point. The challenge is, this is the most expensive wheel. It'll probably go further than the rest, but this comes in around about £2,000, where the Kingsong is at 1,600. So this is the most expensive and arguably the best put together, but is it the one that I would buy? That is the question, and I shall reveal that soon. So I'm going to call the cameraman now to cut. What?
Okay, so which wheel do you think that Jonathan is going to get? Which one do you think he's chosen? That is the question, which will be revealed in part 2. But comment below, let us know which one you think he's actually gone for, and what will be his next wheel for the next 1,500 miles. Comment below, like, subscribe, and share.